there! I would like you to sit back and close your eyes. Relax yourselves and get ready to recall some really specific details. Imagine your mother's left eyebrow, not her right eyebrow, not her eyes, just her left eyebrow. Hard, isn't it? When you try to envision your mother's eyebrows, you see her eyes, cheeks, forehead, nose, chin, her whole face. Why is it so difficult to recall just her eyebrows? Associative learning is a learning principle that states that ideas and experiences reinforce each other and can be mentally linked to one another. In a nutshell, it means our brains were not designed to recall information in isolation. Instead, we group information together into one associative memory. That's why it's difficult to recall just one eyebrow without seeing the whole face. My name is Johan. Today, I shall share with you how I have benefited from an app that is designed employing associative learning principles to learn Peribahasa or Malay proverbs more deeply. In the past, I made use of the Peribahasa handout whenever I attempted a Peribahasa exercise. The handout consists of a long list of 80 Peribahasa that are arranged according to when they were taught. For example, Peribahasa taught in Secondary 1 will appear first in the list, followed by Peribahasa that were taught at Secondary 2 and so on. There are problems when the Peribahasa are arranged like this. First of all, the Peribahasa are varied because they are not grouped together according to common themes to allow better understanding on how the Peribahasa are connected, yet still maintain some small and fine differences in their context of use. As such, to look for Peribahasa that are related to each other, I had to browse through all the Peribahasa in the list every single time, and this was tedious. Secondly, I ended up learning one Peribahasa at a time, in isolation, and this approach does not allow me to learn the Peribahasa in a deep and meaningful way. This is because I will not know what are the related and similar Peribahasa to the one that I am learning, and how do they differ. Fortunately, there is an app to allow me to learn Peribahasa more deeply. The app, Peribahasa O-Level, is so intuitive where all 80 Peribahasa are arranged according to 3 categories for easy reference. Firstly, according to alphabets to allow for quick check on the meaning of the Peribahasa. Secondly, according to levels when they are taught so that the apps is useful not just for graduating students but for all students across all levels. And finally, the biggest attraction for the app, the Peribahasa are arranged according to their context of use. This feature is most useful for graduating students who would like to see how the Peribahasa that they have been taught in isolation since Secondary 1 are connected and related to each other. In addition to meaning, each Peribahasa is also accompanied with an explanation to shed light how its literal meaning is connected with how the Peribahasa should be understood. The app Peribahasa O-Level is available in Google Play Store and can be downloaded for free in Android devices. Now, I make use of the app when I attempt a Peribahasa exercise. I have benefited tremendously from the feature where the Peribahasa are arranged according to its context of use. This feature employs associative learning principles to allow me to connect with information more deeply and recall an information with greater accuracy. Let me illustrate this. Whenever I attempt a Peribahasa exercise now, I will employ these 5 steps. First, I will ignore the Peribahasa answer options. Second, I will read the text to figure what context of use is most applicable for each question. Third, I will refer to the list of contexts in the app for assistance. Once I have decided on a context, I will proceed to the 4th step. That is to check out all the Peribahasa in that context to see if any one of them appears in the Peribahasa answer options. If it does, I will be certain that the context I have chosen is correct. And finally, I will then read up the meanings and explanations for all the peribahasa in that context. This allows me to understand and appreciate the nuances in their uses, although they share the same context. Let's take this question as an example. From the list of contexts in the app, I have identified seeking justice as the context for this question. Under this context, the app showed the following peribahasa. However, only these two peribahasa appear in the peribahasa answer options. From reading the meanings and explanations for all four peribahasa, I learned that the first peribahasa is regarding not being afraid if you are in the right. The second peribahasa, however, concerns with defending what is rightfully yours, even if your life is at stake. Obviously, these two peribahasa does not really match perfectly with the context of the question. This is because the question refers to someone having to judge fairly on his decision over two parties. Now, let's decide which of the remaining two peribahasa is the right answer. Mind you, both appear in the peribahasa answer options. The third peribahasa points to a fair distribution of something, so it has nothing to do with making a judgment. Finally, the last peribahasa. Only this peribahasa refers to making a judgment and a fair one where both parties end up happy. Employing associative learning principles by categorizing the peribahasa according to their context of use has allowed me to learn peribahasa more deeply. Furthermore, I could recall all the peribahasa in a given context over time and identified one that fits perfectly with the context of the question. The app is now a year old, yet there has been close to 1,000 downloads and this number is growing. The app has helped me greatly. I encourage you to download and try it. Thank you.